to the people. Like y'all like my afro?
Right on, right on, right on. Uh, Hey, how's everybody? Um, I mean, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you guys had a great summer vacation. Summer, well, yeah, I guess it's summer vacation. We had a hiatus, right?
Yeah, we took a little
So
time off.
yeah,
We were thinking about y'all, but we weren't broadcasting, but we certainly were thinking about everybody, right?
yeah, we were thinking about, oh my goodness, this is gonna be a great topic. Oh, this is gonna be a great topic.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. And then when everything came out, oh, we gotta hurry up and get back on. Like, do we do a special one because of the news that came out? But we said we'd wait until it was our time. So we are back.
Yeah, there's a lot of
We are
stuff that
back.
happened since June when we had our last episode.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah,
So,
I'm trying to connect to our YouTube page. So if somebody's on YouTube and they have a
oh yeah.
question or something, I'm trying to do that.
Oh, I gotta get used to this. I'm not. I just took out my braids, so
Yeah,
I look like I am.
First Lady is like Angela Davis right now.
Power to the people.
Let me use this.
You getting it? You getting it?
No, I'm not. It's
Okay, well,
somehow
don't
it's
worry
not
about it then,
working.
because you gotta get
All right.
involved. You gotta interact with the people, because there's three of us on now.
So listen, like First Lady said, we pray that y'all had a great summer. A lot of stuff happened.
Yeah.
Sister Deb is with us. Thank you, Sister Deb, for joining us. Appreciate you. Oh my God, where do we begin?
It's
Should we
so
start from the
much.
from?
It's so much.
Should we start from the earliest, or should we go back to like when? Should we talk about when Joe Biden stepped out of the? What do you want?
Let's go back to the initial debate, which was in June.
Oh, the yeah. Okay,
I
so
think that's where we start.
all right,
Right.
so we were in L.A.
Okay, but first of all,
Right.
this is going to be political. So if you
Yeah,
don't want to hear what
yeah.
we
If
have
you're
to
not into
say,
politics,
you might
hey,
not want to be on this live. But this is
yeah.
something that's important. And I think, it'd be good for us all to hear and be a part of. So
Yeah.
go
So
ahead.
again, just FYI, we're not telling you who to vote for. We're just gonna give you information. You make up your own mind. Um, as I always say, I don't tell anybody who to vote for. But if you know your history, if you're a person of color, even if you're not a person of color, if you are an American, then you ought to vote because um, people lost their lives trying to make
Yeah.
sure that everyone would have the right to vote. People got hosed, you know, and dogs sicked on them. They got beaten, thrown in jail. People were hung, all kinds of things, just so because they were pursuing the right to vote.
Yeah. And
So
the thing about it is, obviously, they were the people who were fighting for their right to vote were obviously contributing to the areas in which they resided, but their voices weren't being heard, or things might not have been going their way. And so they're like, wait a minute now, we have to have a say. We're working, we're doing all these things that are contributing to our society. Why is it that only these people can vote? We're paying our taxes. Why is that? Why do we have to fight? It should be a given right. So
that's my opinion. If you
that's
pay
why it's
taxes, you ought to
important,
be able to vote.
right? And that's
Period.
why it's important,
Yeah.
to vote. And if you're 18 years of age and you're living in this country, you have a right to vote,
Yeah.
working or not. You have a right to vote.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to vote. Like Pastor said, like Reggie said, he's not saying who to vote for, but just exercise your right to vote. Period.
And if it wasn't important, they wouldn't be trying to take it from you.
Right.
So, all right. So, back in June, Joe Biden decided that in the best interest,
Not back in June. No, back in June. That's when
that
the
was when the
debate
debate.
between,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
I'm sorry. You're right. That debate, I thought we were starting there. The debate was a disaster for Joe Biden. We were,
I won't say it was a disaster
oh,
in my opinion. I mean, I would say it wasn't his best. It
yeah,
was
no.
not his best. And like he said, it's hard to debate someone who constantly lies, because you want to be able to, when you're on a path of knowing what your talking points are, knowing what the country needs to hear, and then you have to kind of switch gears and try to combat the lies. And at an 80-year-old mind, that's got to be challenging.
Yeah.
And so,
well, it wasn't for Kamala. She didn't have a problem.
right, because
Yeah,
like she's
yeah,
not 80
yeah,
years
yeah,
old.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
yeah, I get it, but I think I mean for all intents and purposes, the way the debates work, you lose points for lying. So
you
it
should.
yeah, well that's how real debates work. That's how debate competitions work. You can't give false information. You get points held against you, and that can be disqualifying. So based on that, Biden beat Trump in the debate, but based on the optics, he did not, because Biden froze and people were kind of waiting for him to do that so that they could jump on him and claim that he wasn't fit for office and that he was this demented person who was senile and all of the things that all the negative things that they said, which in
None of
my
that is true.
I don't believe it's true. In my opinion, what's really amazing about this whole thing is that you don't have to be a great debater to be a great president.
But my thing is too, I understand that debating is part of this process, but people are going to vote for whoever they want to vote for, regardless if they did great in the debate or not. Because if Joe, honestly, transparency, because he didn't do well, but if he still was in the in the running, I would have voted for him.
I would have too, but I don't know. I don't think he would have won though. I
I
think
mean, that I
yeah,
still would have voted for him.
I still would have voted for him too. I would vote for a pack of crimpets. I vote for Reese's bars or a bag of chicken nuggets or
You know
something.
what?
Because I mean, we already know who Donald Trump is. He's already been president. We already seen the mess that he made of what was America.
But
And so
we say that, but there are millions, about 70 million people who don't agree with that.
I think that number is a little lower now. Some of
Ah,
those 70 million have figured it out.
well,
Um,
from
yeah.
your lips to God's ears.
So in any case, Biden had that debate, and he ended up dropping out of the race. And since that time, Kamala Harris has been surging like a rocket, like through the roof. She's raised over $600 million.
But even before that, even before the time, the 3 weeks in between the time he did the debate and the time that he stepped down from, or stepped out of the running, the country, I mean, even myself, I was a little disappointed and disheartened. I'm like, well, I don't even want to watch TV. I don't
Yeah,
even
me
want to
too. Yeah,
watch
yeah,
what's going on,
yeah,
because
yeah. They were
it,
dragging him.
yeah, they
Yeah.
were, and it was so disappointing. And I don't want to say depressing, because it was just sad, because you're like thinking, oh my
Mhm.
goodness, who,
He didn't deserve that.
he did not,
And
he
they
didn't.
really were really dragging him. All of the news were. And what's kind of ironic or amazing is that they're not doing the same thing to Trump for the idiotic things that he said last Tuesday night. I mean, in that debate, like those, how do you not like cover that? How is that not major news? How are they not? How are the Republicans not asking him to step down? Because what he did was way worse than what Joe Biden did. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I think that what the difference is the Republicans are a cult. They're not really a political
Yeah, they're
party.
not a political
They're
party.
they're a cult. It's actually the MAGA portion of the Republican Party. It's not even a political party. That MAGA edition there, that's a hate group. It's a collection of hate groups.
Right.
It's just a bunch of people that hate other people, and they all got together and they said, "Okay, this is going to be our party."
Hmm.
So, so right now, we don't have just Democrats and Republicans. Now we got
Sorry, my afro is giving me.
we got Democrats, Republicans, and MAGA, and if anybody disagrees with me, you can type in the comments, whatever. But I'll tell you this: if you think that that MAGA is not a collection of hate groups, name me one hate group that's not voting Republican and not voting MAGA. Just give me one.
Well, I don't know the detail behind that. All I know is I'm not voting for the hate group. You all own is Trump on today. He was a Biden. Oh,
What?
oh. So the guy who was on Bible study, who had a Trump picture on his profile page.
In our Bible study?
Hmm.
Who was that?
You know.
No, who? You talking about,
Hmm.
what about him?
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
on today.
Yeah. She tried to tell us when we on it today. He was on Bible study the other night.
Well, bless his heart, because I mean, I'm not mad at him being on, and I know you talking about me and that guy talk all the time, and I just asked him, "Are you okay?" Because I think some of them can't really express um who they are
Hmm.
or who they believe in, even if they feel like Kamala is a better option, they're afraid of what'll happen, what kind of backlash they'll get from their friends and their family.
Well,
So they
I,
publicly can't say that.
I
Can't say that.
okay. This is what I'm concerned about. I desperately want Kamala, first woman, you know, woman of color, to be president. I
Hmm.
would love that. That would be so awesome if we
Hmm.
could be on the right side of history and
Hmm.
make that happen.
Yeah.
My fear would be just like it was for President Obama when he became president, was that someone would try to hurt them. And
Hmm.
I don't want that for her. You know what I mean? I don't
Hmm.
want anyone, because you have people who are so enraged that
Hmm.
they would hurt her because they don't think she's worthy of it. Not because,
Hmm.
I mean, she's definitely qualified, very qualified. And this
Hmm.
is something that was said, that it, we black women are always have to do 10 times, 100 times more than anybody else just to get halfway to what
Hmm.
is given to other people.
Right.
And so she's definitely qualified. It's just that people don't want it. Some people just don't want it to happen. But I pray that it's enough that she wins, and we just have to pay a covering over her.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. There was an assassination attempt on Trump's life, and it was from
Allegedly.
allegedly, yeah. And it was by a Republican, by the way. But I truly believe that um, not only are the Secret Service able to protect, but Kamala's smart enough, not just like Obama was smart enough not to put herself in a position where she's not protected.
Well,
And
remember when President Obama got out of the car during his, we was like, no, get back in
yeah,
the car.
but we said that, but they had that perimeter that they were that there was nothing going to happen on that day. And one of the things that people don't realize is um, how concerned America is, especially the Department of Justice, the Secret Service, the CIA, even government is concerned about how we're perceived by other countries.
Mhm.
And it would be like the most embarrassing thing in American history for a president to be inaugurated and assassinated in the same day.
Mhm.
That would be something that America probably could never recover from.
Mhm.
Our standing in the world would be challenged, and if we can't protect our leader, then what does that say about our strength? So, I mean, I would definitely be praying for her covering, because you're right. There's a bunch of people that are violent that will be mad, and that their response would be violence.
Right, of course. And then,
Yeah,
and it's funny because they expect it from the likes of us, the people who are of color, to behave that in that manner.
yeah. Hmm.
And they thought that, President Obama would get in the White House and do what Trump did, destroy it.
Right,
And it wasn't him. It was
right.
their own. And now they're like scratching
Hmm.
their head.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I just think it's time.
yeah.
I
So
think
we
it's
do,
time.
Sister Francis, we do have to keep her covered even now while she's running, because
Hmm.
you can't put it past these people to make an attempt.
You
Um,
really can't. They
yeah,
attempted, Trump, which is really weird
I,
to me.
I,
I don't.
I'm kind of shaky on that
Yeah,
attempt.
I,
And,
I,
and, and the only reason why I even give it any credibility is because somebody actually did die. You know what I mean? Somebody actually
did
was.
they?
Yeah, the guy, the
The one?
fireman.
Did
Yeah.
he really? You
Well,
saw the because they didn't. The lady didn't want to talk to nobody. His wife. Did you see that? She didn't want
yeah,
to talk to the president. She didn't want to talk to anybody.
yeah, but
I don't know.
I don't know. That it seemed kind of fishy to me, because from the people that I know that are military, that grade of weapon, if you get shot on your ear, even if it just grazes you, it's going to tear your ear up. And this guy ain't nothing wrong with his ear. So I'm thinking that it's probably like somebody, the guy missed, hit the teleprompter, and some of the glass sprayed in it, and that way in a week or two, yeah, you wouldn't even be able to tell.
Hmm.
It would heal up in that time. So that makes sense. But to actually catch a bullet and not have any damage is, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
I'm just.
Hey, Sister Wright, how you doing?
Mm.
Hey, Doc Stevenson.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah. So, all right. So we fast forward. Kamala is the nominee. She's raised over $600 million, which has to be messing Donald Trump up.
Well, he probably doesn't believe it. He don't believe anything that's true.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. All right.
He don't care. He doesn't believe anything that's true.
Yeah. So he might hesitantly believe that, because he knows, um, that there is a lot of energy in the Democratic Party, because things changed overnight. When
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I
things
mean,
changed.
it seemed like excitement happened
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
that. I mean, there were calls. We were in Florida when we got the
yeah,
word, and when I'm telling you, it was like 2 to 3 hours later, we were in the airport. I got a
yeah,
text message saying D9
yeah.
for Kamala, and
Mm.
that call had
Mm.
like raised over,
Yeah, it was like 40,000. Was it
yeah,
40,000?
40,000. Was it
Young
40,000? No,
40,000 or
no.
30,000 women, something
It
like
was like,
that.
yeah, 30, 40,000 women
Mhm.
just on that call alone raised so much money, and then that prompted other
Yep.
calls and everything to come forward. People are excited.
Yeah.
People are excited.
And people don't want 4 more years of that nonsense of every day waking up. What did this guy tweet today?
I mean, well,
What did he say
we
today?
had, yeah, we don't want, well, we have a break right now because we don't have that for, we had 4 years. We don't want to go back. Like Kamala says, turn the page. Everybody's tired. Everybody's exhausted
Yeah.
of just like, what is this guy going to do now? Speaking of that, the
Hmm.
debate.
Yeah.
Anybody watch the debate?
Everybody watched the debate. It was 67 million people watched the debate.
That debate was,
Mm, that was fire.
it was, you know what, I liked it so much I just watched it again just moments ago.
It is worth
It
rewatching.
is worth
I'm
rewatching.
serious. It's worth rewatching.
That's a master class. Like they,
Yeah.
like anyone who has to debate prep, they should watch that for um learning
Yeah.
how to do a debate.
She did so well that Trump supporters accused her of cheating.
But they do that all. They accuse her of having like
Yeah, those
a
pearl
ear, like
those Tiffany pearl earrings that she had.
they
They
thought she had like an earpiece or
they
something in there.
oh
See,
my
they don't
god.
even give her enough credit. Think she's smart enough
Right.
to do
Right.
that kind of
Right.
thing. Like they think that's so low of us. Like
Hmm.
like he said, she's dumb. She
Yep.
can't put two sentences together. They said all of that. And so one of the commentators after the debate said to his vice president, "So how do you feel about that? Do you believe that's true after watching her?" He
Hmm.
goes, "Well, she didn't say anything about her policies and what she stands for. It's just, all, whatever."
Hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
just give the credit where credit is due.
Yeah. So this guy Karl Rove, who's a Republican, um, not really a politician. He used to be a politician. Now he's a pundit. And he said, "There's no putting lipstick on this pig. Mr. Trump was crushed by a woman he previously dismissed as dumb as a rock," which raises the question: what
What does
does
that
that
make
make
him?
him? What does that make him?
If he thinks that she's dumb as a rock, what does that make him? But he's in denial.
Yeah.
Like he really thinks that like when he came out afterwards and he said that, oh, we won that debate. I
Yeah.
was was like,
Yeah.
was he there?
Yeah.
I mean, did he
It-
see the watch the same debate I was just watching?
Sister Deb said, "Run, Spot, run."
But
Remember
because that's
said
what
it?
he said.
I
He's like,
know,
yeah,
I know.
run, Spot. Are you kidding me? Wait, he was so off like kilter that he was talking about any and everything that had nothing to do with the question at hand. So
Mhm.
it's like, what are you on?
Yes. And so, first of all, the earring thing. Then they said the moderators were against him. And the reason they said the moderators were against them because they fact checked him. But wait a minute. You're supposed to fact check somebody who says that people are eating pets, cats and dogs. What you supposed to say? Oh, okay, Mr. Former President. Good point. Let's move on. No, you can't leave that out there and not say something about
Right.
it.
But there were some things that they left out there. Like I wish they would have came back to him and asked him, why did you kill the bill? Like why did you
He
kill
didn't.
it?
He never answered that.
That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
wish they would have came back and grilled him on it.
yeah. So
Like
they
what
let
is
him slide with that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been great if they would have did that because that's
Hey, sis. Hey, cousin Kim. How you doing?
hey cousin Kim, thanks for joining us.
Mhm.
Hope
Yeah.
all is well.
So then, okay. So the moderators, and if come to find out that Lindsay is an
It's
AKA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they ain't like that at all. But it wasn't like the moderators said, "Okay, Mr. Trump, you know we're against you, so say something stupid about people eating cats and dogs." Ready, go.
And they accuse her having the questions before, like all the. But how could if she had the questions before? How could she relate? Not relate, but be spot on when he would say something that's not even questioned. That wasn't even in reference to the question at hand. How could she come right back at him and respond to that question if she had the questions out right? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but see that's silly because it's a presidential debate. You're gonna get the same questions. They're gonna ask you about the economy. They're gonna ask you about immigration. They're gonna ask you about race relations. These questions they ask the same questions every debate. So all you have to do is look at the last debate. What did they ask them? The issues haven't really changed. It's just that Kamala stood in there where Biden was. So it was going to be basically the same questions. So it's really silly to think that they gave her the questions when heck I wasn't even debating and I already knew what the questions were going to be. So that is just an excuse because Trump she mopped the floor with him. They were embarrassed. He was embarrassed. He was so embarrassed. He didn't want anybody speaking for him. You know how they have the spin room and like Kamala Harris had Tim Walz come in and speak on her behalf after the debate. Donald Trump went and did it for himself.
right and lied. We beat her 90-10.
Yeah,
We beat her 60-40.
No,
It wasn't. It wasn't even right.
Yeah, he wasn't even adding up to 100%. He was like, we beat her 92-7. Yeah, some places it had 81-30. Some places it had 62-10. Yeah, you know. Like, where you getting these numbers from, dog? And somebody in the audience,
Somebody said, "Where are you getting these numbers from?" He wouldn't even answer.
it was like an hour after debate. Nobody had even done that yet.
Right.
There was
There
no
was no
numbers out there yet.
He was just throwing them. But you know what? He was doing that because his base would believe him.
They don't fact check. They believe whatever he says. It is what it is. Whatever he says.
Yeah, they threw
Yeah.
JD Vance under. You're right about that. They threw him right under the bus.
Exactly. That was the craziest thing.
And then rolled over him a couple times.
So what Sister Deb is talking about, they asked former President Trump, well, you know, what is your thought about a nationwide abortion ban? And
Which
she
you
said,
veto.
yeah, and she said, well, you know, JD Vance said that you would veto. And he said, well, I haven't talked to JD about that, so I don't know. But the thing is, that's your vice president. Y'all not talking about these issues. Y'all not talking about a question that you know is going to be at the debate. It's total incompetence.
It's just
total incompetence.
It's just optics at this point. They're just up there just for show. Trump don't talk to Vance. Vance don't talk to Trump. Trump is doing his own thing. Vance is trying to, hold on, see if he can hang in there. But Trump is delusional.
Bottom line, Donald Trump was not prepared for that debate. He got his clock cleaned. Everybody knows it except MAGA. And if there was anybody who's on the fence, if they're still on the fence, it's because they're racist or they're just misogynist, one or the other. Because there's no way you could leave that debate and hear the two of them talk, him talking in incoherent sentences and talking, randomly verbal diarrhea, and her being succinct and coherent and on topic
and
and
looking presidential.
exactly.
That's what you want when you have to wait. How about when when she was saying they want you to be president so bad so that they could just use you because you're weak.
Yep.
They can just go run
Yeah.
over you.
Yeah.
They'll eat you for lunch. She
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. She told him to his face, they talk about you and they say you are a
Yep,
disgrace.
you are
You are a
disgraceful. And
disgrace.
I'm sure, oh,
And
he was
that blew
burning
his
up.
mind. That's when he started talking about the cats and the dogs and the geese and
He said,
like,
"Well, they're talking about that because I fired them. I fired them. Now they have a book that they want to write. So that's why they're saying all those things. No, it's saying that because you're there. It's true.
yeah.
You're a
one of,
disgrace.
one of the best lines, and there's a T-shirt out. I'm not saying buy it or anything. I'm just show it to you. One of her best lines was
Oh yeah,
was like,
yes,
she
yes.
said, "You got fired by 81
81
million
million people.
people. We don't want you no more. We don't want you no more, dude. That's it. We're
Yeah,
finished."
that was a awesome, awesome, awesome line.
Yeah.
And then she said, you were inherited, like you inherited $400,000
No,
in
$400 million.
million.
Yeah, his father gave him
Wow.
400
And she
million.
said you claimed filed bankrupt six
Six
times,
times. Yeah.
but it was 4 million, 400 million.
400 million. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. But it's believable how many black people are for him fired by 81. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh
that's you're right.
and
You're
and
right.
and Sister Deb, to that point, Sister Deb is talking about how many black people are now for Trump.
For Trump. Yeah, I can't believe it either.
Yeah, it's a combination of things, and I'll tell you what my opinion is of it. One, it is Stockholm syndrome. There are black people in America who want to be accepted in the white community, so they feel that they have to join them and vote with them in order to be accepted by them. Here's the truth: you'll never be accepted by them. They don't care. You can never change your ethnicity. They will always see you as an outsider, even if they praise you for the moment, because you really are just a token. And what happens when tokens get spent, they get thrown away. And if you don't believe me, ask Herman Cain if you could. Herman Cain was the one of the biggest Trump supporters. He was, I don't know if you don't know who Herman Cain was. He's a black man politician. He ran for president, didn't make it. He threw his support behind Donald Trump. Um, Everything that Donald Trump asked him to do, he did. And he went to this super spreader rally that Trump had. He caught COVID. He passed away, and it was 2 weeks before the Republican National Convention, and they did not even mention him. They didn't have a moment of silence for him. They did nothing. They didn't even recognize that the man existed. So let me tell you something, Tim Scott, Byron Donalds, you guys that think
Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas and Vivek Ramaswamy, if you think that you are accepted by these white people, trust me, not these white
Yeah,
people.
not
There,
it's
there's a
MAGA.
lot
It's
of there's a
MAGA.
lot of good, honest, not racist white people out there. There's a lot of good people out there, but MAGA is not one of them.
Yeah, MAGA.
No,
Are
not
they're
them.
not.
Mm-mm.
They're racist.
They are not them. They will use you. Candace Owens, the same thing gonna happen to you. Amber
Amber
Rose,
Rose.
same thing gonna happen to you.
Kanye
Kanye,
West.
same thing gonna happen to you. All of you think that you're gonna be accepted and they're gonna take care of you. They not taking
But
care
my
of you.
thing is, Kanye, he's almost a billionaire. Like, why do you think he needs to be feeling that way?
Kanye is confused. You know that. He ain't something wrong with him.
So I don't think he's thinking he wants to be accepted by them.
I think he does. I think he really
Uh,
does.
do
I
you
mean,
think? Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that he's a felon? Especially, no, I, I
no, so
don't.
part of it though is because he did pardon some of those black people that were in prison. He pardoned some of them, and a couple of rappers too. I'm not really familiar with which who it was, but he did pardon a couple of rappers. So
But he didn't know who he was pardoning. He what it
I'm
was
not. I'm sure he didn't.
right. What it okay. Let me tell you. There was this black police officer in Syracuse.
Yeah, I heard about that. Go ahead, tell him.
Okay, he was killed by like this kid that this kid was told to go on and do this thing. So the kid was incarcerated, and then the mastermind behind it got incarcerated. Fast forward, this was years ago. This is over maybe 30 years ago. Fast forward to when Trump was president, 4 years. Um, Kim Kardashian, she went to Ivanka Trump, and there was this lady by the name of Alice. I don't forget her last name, but she was incarcerated for a minor, well, for a drug charge. And making matters worse, they got her out. What is it called when they pardoned
Paroled
her?
her, right? Oh, it's a pardon.
Pardon her.
Okay.
And so she has a daughter or some kind of relation to the kid who shot the police officer back in Syracuse. Asked Kim if she can get him pardoned. Well, Kim asked Ivanka. Ivanka asked her dad. Her dad got him pardoned. And the kid, come to find out, years, maybe this is maybe last month, he's back in jail because it was domestic violence. He strangled a woman. So you don't even know who you're letting out, just blindly letting people out, thinking that it's going to be a benefit to you. Kim, you might know who I'm talking about. You remember Wally Howard from Syracuse, who that police officer who got shot and killed?
Yeah. So
He just randomly, blindly letting people out, and they don't even know. He don't even know what he's doing.
yeah, and it's really ironic that the guy who has 34 felonies is running on like the America is it's too much crime in America. Well, we don't want crime in the White House,
But
so you need to drop out because you got 34 felonies.
right,
Dude.
but he's saying he didn't do anything. It's a witch hunt. None of that is true.
Well,
And his supporters are behind it.
yeah, but yeah, the point is though that it makes me so frustrated that whenever you ask a Trump supporter, well, what has Trump done for black people? That's the first thing they talk about. Well, he pardoned all, and the First Step Act wasn't even him. Really, he just signed it into law. It was
Right.
two black congressmen that put that bill forward. He just signed it into law, so now he's going to take credit for it. He actually didn't want to do it. Now, here's the thing: when you are talking to me and what you did for my people, don't tell me what you did for people that was in prison because I'm not in prison. I ain't been in prison. I ain't trying to be in prison, and that ain't helping me.
Yeah, they think that the stimulus
Yeah, the stimulus is
has
another
something to
thing.
do with it, and that's not it.
Guess what? You're not getting no more stimulus unless it's another pandemic. So you can pipe down on that one. It's just
It's
that
just, it's unfortunate.
and unfortunately, even more unfortunately, it's mostly black men that have that. Black women not falling for that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because black women are the most educated people on the planet.
Say so.
They are not falling for that nonsense. And black men, unfortunately, are not in that category. So they don't get it. They are more easily duped. Plus, they want to be in that clique and in that crew with these successful white men, and they think that they are going to be pulled up and it's going to benefit them in some way. But turning your back on your people never benefits you. Bible says, what good is it for a man if he gain the whole world but lose his soul? And you lose your soul when you do things like that for just money.
They think he gave them that, but it was the Democratic Congress that approved it.
Exactly, Sister Deb. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the problem that I have,
Mhm.
where they think because he's got these felons out of jail, he thinks that, or they think that these golden sneakers can appeal to him. They're all these little gimmicks that they're trying to appeal to the black men. That's who they really trying to appeal to when when they do stuff like that. And some of them fall for it. Some of them fall for the gimmicks
They do.
because they don't do the research. They don't do the necessary homework that requires them to learn the truth. There's something. Nobody is perfect. There's some things that the Democratic Party may have done that wasn't all that great. But if you take what we have in Trump compared to what we can get with Kamala, let me tell you.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, right? So I get it. Joe Biden has said some racist things in his life. Absolutely.
But he made up for it.
Yeah, but my point is, be saying racist things and subscribing to racism is different. Racism means exclusion. While Joe Biden may have said some racist thing, he does not practice racism. He has the most diverse cabinet in American history. He has more people of color, more women, more LGBTQ community. So his cabinet looks like America. Donald Trump, on the other hand,
Mm.
is exclusive. Donald Trump had over 1,400 appointments. Usually, the president has like over 2,000, and not just, I'm not talking about the cabinet, but the deputy, people, all of these people on down the line. So generally, a president appoints between 2,000 and some go all the way up to 5,000. Trump only did 1,400. Out of that 1,400, only six were people of color. Six out of 1,400. That's less than 1%. That's less than 0.1%. That's less than 0.5%. So that is what racism is. It's not what you say, what comes out of your mouth. Nobody cares about that. We get over that. But when you exclude us, when you have a meeting and there's nothing but white men around the table making that decision, that's a problem.
That's a
At
problem.
least with the Democratic Party, when they sit around that table, it's people that look like me. It's people that is women around there. It's people that look like me. It's people that look like him or anybody else. So we get a round table of people that these decisions are going to impact, and
Right.
everybody has a say.
Everybody has
That's
the
the
input.
difference.
To have the secretary of the black woman press secretary.
Yeah.
I mean that's speaks
Stop.
volumes.
Listen. Stop playing. Joe Biden appointed or picked Kamala Harris as his vice president. He appointed an African American woman to the Supreme Court. His press secretary is a black woman. His secretary of defense is a black man. He's got LGBTQ people. He's got women. He's got people in leadership positions all through his cabinet. So
And
he hires people on their merit,
merit, and
not on their old boy status.
he has a lot of judges of color
Yeah.
that he's appointed.
He's
in his-
appointed more African American judges than any other president,
Mhm,
more than Obama.
mhm.
So
So if you don't understand the importance of this election and voting, like again, we're not saying who to vote for,
not at all.
but if you don't you don't understand why it's so important to vote, I'm saying
I would
Democrat.
I would rather you vote for Trump than not vote at all,
Oh,
because
don't say that.
I would,
Hurt my
because
feelings.
it's a slap in the face of our ancestors not to vote.
But that's a slap
Too
in the face
many.
if you vote for him.
It is, but I'd rather you slap them in the face that way.
Oh no, don't slap him in the face
You're
at all.
spitting in their face
Don't
by
don't
not
don't
voting. You just slapping
because
in their face
that
by
could be
voting.
the one that he wins over. No, we're not doing that.
I'm just saying, because it is a right that people fought for us to have,
Mm-mm.
and to not use it, I think is I
I
think
mean,
it's
write
just
an independent
reprehensible.
in. Write some. Don't vote for him.
Yeah.
Just write yourself in. You're gonna vote.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm certainly not.
Look, Mr. Prince said, Pastor, please.
uh,
I'm with you.
I'm certainly not recommending anybody vote. Uh, uh, Use your mind when you vote. Use your head and
As long as
when you
you're
vote.
in your right frame of mind. If you don't, first of all, I want you to be honest with yourself. And if you feel
No.
like you don't have your right frame of mind, go to somebody that can help you. Don't do it on your own.
But it is I think it's logical. Register to vote gives you the right to vote, right? So you register to vote, right? And that's kind of what we're talking about, and that's a great point, Reverend Goodman. We need to make sure that we're registered. Here in New Jersey, where we are, um, that's really not a problem because this is a Democratic state, and they're not really trying to suppress our vote here. Democratic states generally try to make sure the vote gets out, because we understand that the more people vote, the more likely it is that that Democrats are going to win. But yeah, but we have to vote. It's not optional. Not based on our history. It's just not optional. And it's a protest that you can't win. Not voting.
Mhm.
It's not a protest you
And
win.
the most important states that we need to win are Philadelphia.
No,
I'm
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's a state. Philadelphia is a
I'm
city.
sorry, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. We also
Mhm.
have to do Wisconsin. Is that another one?
It's Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania,
It's Michigan,
Arizona.
Arizona, Nevada, and Wisconsin.
There's
Yeah,
another one. Is it? You said Michigan
Georgia.
already?
Yeah, I
Oh,
said
and
Michigan.
Georgia,
Yeah,
Georgia,
yeah,
Georgia, because that's one of the places too that they're changing all these laws to make it harder for people of color to vote in certain
yeah,
cities
yeah,
within the state.
yeah.
And it's crazy. That's one of the reasons why I said Philadelphia, because one of the
Mhm.
reasons they're trying to make it harder for people to vote. They don't want it's just hard. It's and that's how you know, like, if you gotta cheat to win, maybe you just shouldn't be winning. Maybe you shouldn't even
Yeah,
be in it, because you if you gotta cheat, that means no one wants you.
yeah, and it's interesting because
North Carolina, right? North
I
Carolina.
think I'm
You got
actually,
us in Georgia.
yeah,
Okay, all
that
right.
that's Steve from Anheuser
Oh,
Busch.
okay, all right,
I'm
Steve.
I'm pretty sure. I'm kind of semi confident that we'll win North Carolina because the guy that they got running for governor in North Carolina is absolute nut. He is
But North Carolina,
gone.
the governor and
He's
president is
gone.
two different
Yeah,
things
but most people vote down
down the
ballot.
line.
They vote down ballot. Yeah. So it'd be kind of weird for them to vote uh for the Democrat for governor and then turn around and vote for the
It's
Republican for
not
president.
impossible though,
It's not impossible, but that's rare.
because that's kind of what happened with the last election. Like, it's like, even though Trump lost, some of the Republicans won.
Right.
For the last election, so that can
Right.
definitely
But
happen.
that was rare too.
Hmm.
But yeah, but that it could happen, but prayerfully that won't happen.
Yes, vote, vote,
Um,
vote.
yeah. And the thing is, the bottom line, in my opinion, if Kamala wins Pennsylvania, it's a wrap. Because if Trump can't win without Pennsylvania, because he's not gonna win Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, and Arizona. He's not winning all of them. So he has to have Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
If we
so
get Pennsylvania, it's a wrap. All we need is one of those.
I'm with you, Sister Deb. We want it all.
I hear you.
I want a
It
landslide.
it and that's the way that you destroy MAGA, with a landslide.
Yeah.
And I'm not even in favor of destroying the Republican Party, but MAGA
MAGA
has
has
to
to
be
go.
destroyed.
MAGA has to go.
Be-
MAGA has to, because
yeah,
they're dangerous.
yeah.
They are dangerous people.
They don't want us to exist.
Nope.
That's the problem. Most of their little cult do not want people of color. They don't want Hispanics. They don't want um Jewish people to live. They don't they don't want the LBGQ community to live. They want to eliminate all of us,
Hmm.
and they want all the power to themselves.
Yeah. And that's
So
what they're
that part
afraid of.
they have to be eliminated. I don't
Right.
think a one party system works because then it's just like having a dictatorship. You need to have two parties
Checks
with
and balances.
different
Mhm.
ideas, so to bounce off people. But this guy, Donald Trump, is so divisive.
Oh my goodness.
There's absolutely no way that he gets in office and
Brings everybody together.
no,
No way he could do it because he's
because
so divisive.
I'm not being on the same team with the KKK.
No
It ain't
way. No
happening.
way.
Never, 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 ever, never. I ain't down with the Proud Boys. I ain't down with the Oath Keepers. I ain't down with the any of them, the Three Percenters. I ain't down with none of them. So we'll never be joined that way.
Hmm.
Now, if Kamala is actually elected, then it's possible that we could get some of these right-leaning Republicans to say, okay, let's get our stuff together. Meanwhile, if there's some kind of tragedy or crisis, then they'll be able to get behind Kamala, and we'll all be able to unite as one country.
Country, yeah.
But it ain't happening under Trump because, first of all, we don't trust him. The guy told us that COVID was going to go away as soon as the weather broke. And I knew that was a lie because we knew it was a lie because we had people in refrigerators that had passed away. They was in refrigerated trucks for months and couldn't get buried because too many people were passing away at the same time. So that ain't going to work.
This is the same guy who said inject bleach.
How about that?
And then,
How about that?
wow. But even his family, some of Trump's own family, like his brother, came forward and was saying how he told him
his nephew wasn't his nephew.
Oh, it was his nephew. Oh, okay. So it was his nephew. I'm sorry. So his nephew came forward saying how Trump told him, "Why don't you just let your son die? Because you shouldn't let him live like that because he was, he had,
his son
disability.
Was, disabled.
Yeah. And it's like, how do you say that to your nephew? Like,
yeah, and he didn't want to help him with giving him money to help.
Right. So he just let him die. Like
his own nephew,
like,
let him die.
That's so heartless. Like if you're gonna do that to your own family, you can care less about anybody else. And that's what Kamala said. She said you're gonna hear a lot about people about him talking about himself. You're not gonna hear him talk about you a lot. And she said, I'm for the people. Right. So just if you want a good choice, vote for me. and I agree.
So did you hear what he said about childcare?
Oh gosh, yeah. Did you have the video on that?
He's all over. No, I don't have the video on that, but you know what I do have the video on? I have the video on when he was at the National Black
oh my goodness, the caucus. Like he didn't know she was black.
Oh my God.
When Time Magazine asked you if you would consider pardoning all the rioters, you said, yes, absolutely. Sure. You called them patriots. 140 police officers were assaulted that day. Their injuries included broken bones, at least one officer lost an eye, one had 2 cracked ribs, 2 smashed spinal discs, another had a stroke. Were the people who assaulted those 140 officers, including those I just mentioned, patriots who deserve pardons?
Well, let me bring it back to modern day. Like about 5 days ago, we had an attack on the Capitol, a horrible attack on the Capitol. You saw the people that were protesting and spraying these incredible monuments, bells, lions, all these magnificent limestone and granite with red paint, red spray paint that will never actually come off, especially in the limestone. It will never, I'm a builder, I know about this stuff. It'll never, you'll see it in 100 years from now. They viciously attacked our government. They fought with police. They fought with them much more openly than I saw on January 6th. What's going to happen to those people? What's going to happen to the people in Portland that destroyed that city?
But sir, my question is on those.
What's going to happen to
my
the
question
people
is
that
on
tried
those
to bring
rioters who assaulted officers.
You have to
would you pardon
what's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You would pardon those?
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just
If they're innocent or what? Well, they've been convicted. So.
And he did not like her, boy.
Of course not, because she checked him.
Yeah,
she checked him.
Anybody that goes against him, makes him, look at himself. Nope.
So y'all heard about the black job thing, right?
Yeah, about the black job.
That was so cool what Michelle Obama said.
Yeah, because
who's gonna tell him?
Who's gonna tell him one of the black jobs? Cool. That was good.
But getting back to the MAGA and the hate thing, here's an example how we know MAGA is hateful. This one of the most touching things that happened in the Democratic National Committee was I didn't even know that that Tim Walz's son is neurologically diverse is what they call it, and that means he's got some form of autism or whatever. And so when Tim Walz was giving his speech, and he was saying, that's my dad, and he was so happy and so proud of his father, and it was just a great moment. It really touched me because that's love.
That was touching.
Yeah. And then Republicans came out. Laura Ingraham came out the next day and said, "Talk about weird."
Yeah.
So.
But she had to delete that afterwards because
Yeah, because she got backlash. But that's where she is. That's where her heart is. That's the hate that they promote and that they have in their party, that they can't even accept. They didn't have to say, okay, I'm voting for Tim Walsh now, as that was touching. They could have still said, you know what, I'm not voting for the guy, but that was brilliant.
That was nice.
That was
beautiful.
heartfelt.
His
That
son
was
is like, man, he's so proud
yeah,
of me. Proud
yeah,
of his father. That was a great,
yeah.
great thing to see.
And that's why we know that they're hateful, because in that moment, if you did not feel the energy of the love between a father and his son like that, there's something wrong with you, not them two. Something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And that's why that's another reason why I can't. I can't.
You know what was beautiful the entire week, and I've never watched a whole week
Me
of
either.
the DNC. That whole, from the start to the finish, the DNC, that campaign, that was beautiful.
It was amazing.
It was. From when Michelle and President Obama came out there and spoke, and he was like, "How are you gonna have me follow Michelle?"
He said, "I'm the only one stupid enough to follow her." Because I was thinking the same. I was like, "It's gonna be tough to come back after her."
She was dynamic. Yeah.
She is amazing. She's just amazing.
And it was who else? Oprah spoke. I thought she did a great job.
Yeah. And they hate Michelle Obama. They seriously, they some of them say that they call her Michael, like she's like, it's just hate. It's just hate.
They hate anybody of color who that's what Donald Trump tried to, she said, you're just too jealous of two Black people who have risen to the ranks.
Yep.
And it just broke your heart. You just couldn't take it.
Yep.
That's why he ran, because he's like, didn't think a Black person should be worthy enough to have the highest job in the office. No, we're not having this. And he runs on hate. He has a scare tactic. He tries to scare people into voting for him.
Yeah, and I really think that he caught the perfect storm when he ran, because Hillary was not popular, and then Comey came out with that nonsense 2 weeks before the election, and then he only won out of I think 4 or 5 states. He only won by 70,000 votes. So he caught lightning in a bottle. It's not happening again. We've already seen how this guy, he was handed a great economy. When Barack Obama left, he had 70 straight months of economic growth and 76 straight months of unemployment decreasing. So when he gave the snowball was already going down the hill. All Donald Trump had to do was not touch anything, and it would be fine.
No, he was trying to undo everything.
But he undid the pandemic response team,
and look at what
and
happened.
then when the pandemic came, he got caught with his pants down. He wet the bed.
But he was like, "Oh, the cabinets were bare. They left us nothing."
Yeah, but the bottom line is that was you. You should have left that in place. Your hatred for that man caused you to get rid of something that would have greatly benefited our country and probably cost us, according to Pew Research. This is not me. According to Pew Research, which is one of the most respected research companies on the planet, it was about they estimate about 400,000 people died unnecessarily in America.
See,
because of that.
And too, all he had to say was wear your mask.
Yeah.
But he was too proud. I don't want to wear my mask. It just looks weird. I don't want to go to leaders and have to wear a mask. Come on now. And because he said that, people were like, I'm not wearing a mask. And guess what? Unfortunate.
So the hatred is thick. Now we're almost done, right? But I want to show you something that this is, to me, as low as it can go. Doesn't get any worse than this. And this is the Republican Party. Maybe it can, but I haven't seen it.
MAGA or Republican?
This is MAGA, the MAGA branch of the Republican Party. Watch this. Look at this. An official resolution, the National Federation of Republican Assemblies, a 90-year-old GOP-aligned organization that counted former President Ronald Reagan among its membership, took the position that Vice President Kamala Harris should not be allowed to hold the office of president, citing several precedent-setting U.S. Supreme Court cases Among the 6 cases the NFRA cited was the Dred Scott versus Sanford decision of 1857, which is regarded as one of the worst SCOTUS decisions of all time, if not the worst ever. Several states, candidates, and major political parties have ignored this fundamental presidential qualification, including candidates Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Kamala Harris, whose parents were not American citizens at the time of their birth. So they want her. They don't want her to be a president so bad that they went back to 1857 to get a law, the Dred Scott law, which said that even though he was a free, his master, the person who owned him, took him to free country to get him free, that he could not be free and he was not due to the access of everything that white men had because he was not a white man, and they put him back in slavery even against the will of his own master, which I hate. If this sounds crazy. So they're saying because that case said that black people were not allowed the same privileges as white, that Kamala Harris can't be president because of that.
That's crazy.
But that's where they are. This is where they are. This is why it blows my mind when black men, black women, anybody of color that sides with the Republican Party, you have got to be out of your mind, because you're siding with the people who don't want you to exist. You're siding with the people who don't want you to have the rights that you have earned, that people have died so that you could get. It's absolutely insane. Now, I'm sure that lawsuit is not going to win, but
the fact that they've been trying it, it's really crazy.
The fact that they even brought it up just shows you who they are. There's no level of low they won't go to. It is absolutely insane. Insane.
Who brought that? Who specifically brought that?
The National Federation. Let me put
Who's in that group?
I don't know who the individual. I did. I forget the president of it, but the National Federation of Republican Assemblies. So, of course, if you ever bring this up to Donald Trump, you say, "I know nothing about them. I know nothing about them. I didn't even know they existed. I know nothing about Project 2025. I know nothing."
He just denied.
Even though 40 members of people that are in his campaign helped write it. I know nothing about it. I picked the greatest people, but somehow they do things that I know nothing about.
But he knows nothing about it.
Crazy.
Denied. That's all he's doing. That's why all these cases that he's charged with and everything, he's appealing, he's denying, he's appeal, deny, take it to Supreme Court. And because the Supreme Court is on his side, all those charges are gonna be dismissed.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? If you're innocent and you're not guilty of any of these things, when you want a speedy trial, when you want to present your case, your innocence, wouldn't you want it to be quick? Listen, I'm running for the election. Let's get this thing out. Let's go ahead and litigate this thing. Mm-hmm. I'm going to prove that I'm innocent. You could go ahead and bang your head, and then I'm going to be able to run on the fact that you falsely try to convict me. But no, he's like a delay, because and he's not even saying he's innocent. He's saying he should be immune.
Yeah. And so could you imagine if like she said, if he was go back in the office, he could do anything because he's president and can be immune and not get charged for it, not be held accountable for it.
Yep. Yeah. So again, having said all of that, just vote. Make sure Greater Harvest, we need 100% and 100% turnout. Tell your friends, especially your friends in red states and all over the country, we need to get out and we have to vote. Our democracy depends on it.
Our livelihoods too.
Yeah. So it depends on it.
Pray and vote, like Evangelist Garland said. Pray and vote.
Yep. Pray and vote. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much what we had today. You got anything else?
No, that's all I had.
Yeah. So look at my beautiful wife.
Y'all like my little afro? Let's get a good look at it, because I ain't gonna see it tomorrow.
I like it.
Trump wants to be a dictator. He worships that theory. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. And did you hear the plan that he has for Obamacare? He's got concepts
Yeah.
of a plan.
Concepts.
He's got, I got a concept of a plan. Whatever. You want
I'm
to
gonna try that. I'm gonna try that though.
He
That
want to
might work.
he
It
want
worked
to
for him.
replace something, get rid of something, but don't know have nothing to get replace it with.
You know what? I'm gonna try that though. That because if it worked for him, maybe it'll work for me. When Mercedes is ready for their car payment, I'm gonna say, listen, I have a concept
Concept of a payment.
of payment.
Nobody's
I don't have the
buying
money,
that.
but I got a concept of how to pay you.
He is a swindler,
I
a
guess that ain't gonna
felon,
work.
and he's not good for this country. Period.
That probably ain't gonna work. Yeah. But anyway, it's been a blessing to be back. I don't know. Next week we got a lot going on, right? Are we gonna be able to do it next week?
We might. Everything
Okay.
should be over by
All right.
5:30. Might be able to do it.
So we'll see y'all next week, and tell your friends, and sure there'll be plenty of stuff to talk about between now and then, and we'll come back and give you what we got. Now,
Yes.
I want to leave you with a couple scriptures. Galatians 6:7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. So be careful what you put out there in the atmosphere, because it's going to come back to you.
Mhm.
And the other one is Ephesians 5, verse 11. It says, have no part in evil doing, but instead expose it. So that's why, we talk about what we do, but we're not trying to be political in our ministry. We just want to let you know what's going on, because it is, the Bible does say that we're supposed to expose evil, and I do believe that MAGA
It's evil.
is
They're
evil.
demonic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right, so Greater Harvest, we'll see y'all in the morning. Those of you who are not Greater Harvest, so it was nice hanging out with
yes,
y'all
thanks
too.
for joining.
Good
God
night
bless. Love y'all.
and God bless.